week was an exciting week for football fans everywhere as it was National Signing Day. Bronco Mendenhall was more than excited to announce the additions to the 2010 team. Robbie Bolo has more.
BYU head coach Bronco Mendenhall announced 26 recruits for the class of 2010 during National Signing Day, including 8 who are rated among the top 25 at their position. Entering his 6th year at the helm of BYU football, Mendenhall says this may be his best recruiting class ever.
Based on athleticism and size and speed and academics and character, when you put all our criteria together, I think it is.
BYU's class is ranked 22nd overall by Scout.com, which is the highest in the Mountain West Conference. Despite the recruiting accolades, Coach Mendenhall says he doesn't put much stock in the numbers.
I really don't care nor listen too much of what anyone else thinks about whom we're recruiting. What I care about is, do we have the players that we need for BYU?
Instead, Coach Mendenhall points to the recent success of the football program. The Cougars are one of just 7 teams in Division I to be ranked at the end of each of the last 4 seasons.
That means staying in the top 25 for 4 years straight. If that's easy, then more than 7 teams would do it.
Additionally, only 4 teams have won more games than BYU in that same time period, and for the first time in program history, the Cougars have won 10 or more games in 4 consecutive years.
If you question the approach of whom we're recruiting, if you wonder why didn't so-and-so rate them higher, what's happening currently is something that's never happened, and never meaning never, in the history of the program before, and that's 10 wins 4 years in a row. I'm excited about the class, and possibly the number of wins and the success will keep going because of the type of young men, regardless of what anyone else has to say about them.
As part of their nationally ranked recruiting class, the Cougars also won the in-state recruiting battle, getting 10 of the top 16 players from the state of Utah. Included in those 10 are Timpview High School's Bronson Kafusi, who is the top-rated player in the state, and Mr. Football Tuni Kanuch out of Bingham High School. 3 of the 26 recruits have already enrolled in school for the winter semester: quarterback Jake Heaps, wide receiver Ross Oppo, and running back Joshua Quezada. Heaps, Oppo, and linebacker Zach Stout all committed to BYU in a joint press conference back in June. One of the practices of recruiting Mendenhall could do without.
Press conferences now for freshmen who haven't played it down yet at a college. If you could have been to the first day of off-season workouts when those young men arrived, there wasn't any press conference. They didn't have enough oxygen to speak. I enjoy, in a twisted sort of way, watching them run their first gasser and being 25 yards behind the slowest guy on our team, and then realizing I have a ways to go, because now they're teachable. And before that, it's very difficult to teach when everyone's just telling them how great they are.
Another element of recruiting that Mendenhall addressed was commitment.
I make it very clear, please do not commit or accept this offer unless you don't want to be recruited anymore. And if you're not willing to commit under those terms, then please don't sign. Or please don't tell me you're coming. And sometimes the recruiting world views a verbal commitment like it's a game. I focus on the commitment part, not the verbal part.
Signing day at BYU is unique. The Cougars not only announced 26 high school recruits for the class of 2010, but also welcome home 12 players who returned from serving missions for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
This is the fun part now about our class, because many will forget. You don't see the highlights of these guys, and maybe some of you have forgotten about them. But if you add this group to our recruiting class, it starts to look pretty good, doesn't it?
The class of returned missionaries includes one in particular that most Cougar fans will be familiar with.
If you remember the bowl game against UCLA and the kick being blocked.
To win the game. The kick is no good. Somebody got a hand in the middle of the field on it.
He's back.
Mendenhall also wasted no time reminding fans about the team's season opener on September 4th, 2010.
Washington at home is who we open with, playing against the coach that was a former quarterback here, Steve Sarkisian. He tried to steal a couple of our recruits, was not successful.
Robbie Bolo, True Blue.
The first chance to see these new guys in action will be Saturday, September 4th against the University of Washington Huskies.